Okay, so this is a huge video for me because yesterday I finally finished reading a book that has been plaguing my consciousness since the middle of September, and that is The Histories by Herodotus. It's really not that long of a book as far as books go. I mean, this version, if you don't count the appendix, which I did not read that. I skimmed it a little bit, but ain't no way I'm reading that. It's like 722 pages, but a lot of the pages end up being like, there's some photos, but there's a lot of maps, and I actually really recommend this copy of Herodotus specifically for the maps, because it might have taken me 10 times as long to get through without them. Just helps you make sense of all of the references. I mean, there are what feels like thousands and thousands of different locations, groups of people, historical figures, and there are also, I don't know what those are called, notes at the bottom of each page, so you can reference what the hell Herodotus is talking about. And there are like summaries of each paragraph, so you can kind of see if it's worth reading or if it's just one of his useless digressions. And at the highest level, there are summaries of like the entire page at the top, just so you can reorient yourself in the narrative. But yeah, the maps are all very high quality. They're really helpful. It's a bit annoying, like, to read a book this size. So a lot of this, I'm gonna be honest, I just read on the computer because I just read the PDF because it was less painful for my neck and posture. But I also have, it used to be on my desk, but I have this thing that I can set up to read the actual book, which I did do quite often. Okay, so the last video I posted was about book 8, and I just finished reading book 9, which was the last book, and it goes over the battle at Plataea, I think is how it's pronounced. I want to see what else, I mean, if there's anything else that it goes over that I'm just forgetting about. But the big thing that I remember from just having read it was the Battle of Plataea. So what I'm looking at right now is, in the beginning of the book, there's kind of an index of the 9 books and the different narrative events that happen. So I'm just checking to see if I'm missing anything. Oh yeah, there's okay. So the Battle of Plataea, and then I just feel so unconfident pronouncing these words, but the Battle of Mycale, or Mycale, this one here, that also happens, but I think Plataea was the more consequential battle. And yeah, so this battle reveals to us the fate of Mardonius, the general or commander guy that Xerxes left in place in in Greece after he dipped out, and he left him with I think most of the land army, but not all of them. And yeah, anyway, Mardonius is trying to march like into southern Greece, but he doesn't end up getting there. I think kind of all the the Avengers of Greece at the time kind of come together at this battle and fight at initially at the river Asopos, but then they kind of retreat to this town of Plataea, which is also near this mountain. I forgot the name of it, Kithaeron or something. Yeah, I mean, long story short, the Greeks end up winning in a kind of a similarly impressive manner that they did at Thermopylae, because it seemed like specifically the Spartans were, I mean, they had split off from the rest of the Greek forces, and I think they still might have had like 50,000 people, according to Herodotus, but it seemed like they were kind of confused as to what was going on. And then the entire of the Persian forces kind of started charging at them, and yeah, the Spartans ended up winning again. So that was cool for the Spartans. And yeah, Mardonius was killed in that battle. And I think the other guy, Artabazos, who I think I made a video about a quote that he said. I really like him as far as I think he was a wise person, and that he always had seemingly good advice. He dipped out before that battle even happened because he knew that the Spartans would win. So I think he escapes, and he actually makes it back to Persia, although not the army that he brings with him doesn't entirely make it back. Yeah, that's kind of what happens to Mardonius. And I'm trying to remember anything else that's interesting about Plataea. Yeah, I don't know. So after that, then the Greeks hear from their relatives, their like ethnic relatives in Ionia, about how the Persians there are, kind of weak and it would be easily defeated, and the Greeks there want to be liberated. So the mainland Greeks end up going over there by ship and beating the Persians again, basically. And after they do that, they go up to like the Hellespont, and their intention is to break the bridge of boats, I think, that was made when Xerxes first crossed over, but they found that it was already broken. Oh, sorry, what I had just previously described, the battle, like the destruction of the Persians in Ionia, that is the battle of Mycale, don't know, but that's what that battle was. So then they go up back towards the Hellespont, and yeah, the bridge is already broken down, so they end up kind of just ravaging any Persians that are still left there in that area. And that's about, that's about it. I think that's pretty much what happens in book 9. Oh yeah, there's this like kind of side quest that Herodotus goes into about Xerxes and his brother, but I mean that's not really essential to the narrative here. So anyway, that's book 9. I mean, I feel like I do an awful job at recapping this, but I don't think that's what I've gained from reading the book, is like the ability to recap. It's more so when I hear or when I read about other events or other periods of time that reference Herodotus or reference the Persian Wars, or reference Thermopylae, or really anything relating to geography or the ethnic groups of that area, like the Aegean or Mesopotamia. I just have some reference to understand now, even if I can't clearly reproduce the events in Herodotus. It just kind of unlocked more of the map for me in terms of world history. So that's really what I was after reading it. I mean, I wasn't expecting to remember everything, and just the way that he writes, I think it's impossible to do in just one read. After reading it now, I kind of do want to go back and read book 1 again, because I think I missed a lot in regards to like the Assyrians and Babylon as well. But I'm probably not going to do that. Now that I've finished this, I guess I forgot at some point, but I know that Dan Carlin from Hardcore History has a bunch of podcasts about the ancient history. So I listened to the first one about the Bronze Age collapse, and then I listened to the one about the Assyrians, the fall of Nineveh, which is what's making me want to go back and reread book 1. But yeah, now I'm starting his I think it's a 3-part series called King of Kings, where he's talking about pretty much everything that I just read, starting with Thermopylae, I think, and it will probably go past that as well to like Alexander the Great, which I don't really have much knowledge about yet. But yeah, it was very worth reading, and if not for the actual content of the book, just to prove to myself that I can actually stick with something even if it takes a long time. I don't think I've ever read a book this long, actually. This is definitely the longest book that I've ever read. So yeah, it's helped me build the habit of reading and the skill really as well, and the patience. So yeah, I highly recommend at least reading some book that that takes a prolonged effort to finish. But this one in particular is a really good place to start for anybody interested in world history, because everything really will come back to here, or at least this region of the world, in terms of so anyway, that's it. That's book 9. Before I continue in the reading list, the St. John's College reading list. I'm trying to finish Bertrand Russell's book, The History of Western Philosophy, just to give myself a primer on the world of philosophy. And then, I mean, probably in tandem, I'll continue reading. I think the next books for me are either going to be, I have to get through Plutarch, Solon, and Lycurgus, and then also Plato, Meno, and Gorgias, I don't know. I think after those, then I'll get to the Republic, which I'm excited about. But anyway, that is the end of the Herodotus arc. I'm excited to get into some actual philosophy, so instead of just like recapping, I can hopefully start kind of thinking out loud as well, which was part of the reason why I made this channel. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.